Hey, this is Joe, Lieutenant Joe, and I just wanted to circle back to a conversation we were having earlier. We were talking about the changes, the four types of changes that we experience in our life. My mentor, Dr. Myles Munroe, he stated that there are four types of change that we need to recognize, and that's the change that happens around us. That's change that we have no control over. The change that happens to us, oftentimes we have no control over that either. And then there's the change that happens in us and the change that we create. So I'm going to talk about that change that happens in us. How do we get there? How do we experience change from the inside out? And sometimes that's forced upon us because of some of the circumstances that we experience. But other times it is based on a decision that you've made. You have decided, I need to change something. I've been living my life a certain way, or I've been doing business a certain way, or I've been in relationships a certain way, but there needs to be some change. So how do you get there? So I will talk from my experience. And when I decided to make those changes, when I decided that I needed to change on the inside, first, it was a spiritual change that happened. There was a change in my relationship with God that really made all the difference in my direction. And then there was the changes that I made in my attitude, right? I had to change my attitude because my attitude was up and down, not consistent. And I still don't have consistency, but I have more awareness of my attitude at this point so that I can try my best to maintain a positive attitude. That is one of the things that helped me to survive when I was in that hospital and in the ICU recovering from those burns. I tried my best on all times to have a positive attitude. And then you have to change the things that you enter into the things that you listen to, the things that you read, the books that you read, the articles that you read, the social media posts that you read, the music that you listen to, the messages that you hear. Who's whispering in your ear? Because there's a constant battle of right or wrong, truth or false. And we have to be so focused, or we have to be so aware of who we're listening to, what we're listening to, when we're listening to it, and how often we listen to it. So a perfect example is when you wake up first thing in the morning, what is it that you hear? Do you spend time in prayer? Do you spend spiritual time alone with your Creator? Do you, first thing in the morning, there were years ago when I used to smoke. First thing in the morning, I would grab a cigarette and throw it in my mouth. Yuck. But that was then. But then there had to be a change. So the change that happens in us is by a decision we make, and then we have to act on that decision. Always being aware. Your attitude, your will, your resilience or resolve, your adaptability to whatever circumstance you're in, and then also being able to execute. Because execution is key. We can have all the knowledge in the world, but if we don't do anything with it, it's just knowledge. So anyway, there we go. That's my take on it. I just wanted to share that with you. The change that happens in us will manifest in changes in the relationships that we have. It'll manifest in changes in our business structure, how successful our business is, how successful the people around us become just because of the decision that we made to make a change in us. This is your guy, Joe. Until next time, I believe in you. You can do this.